I thank God. Straight from the mud, now it's time to get the pie. Sweat, tears and blood, you can see it in my eyes. Up, I thank God. Straight from the mud, now it's time to get the pie. Sweat, tears and blood, you can see it in my eyes.
Alright, family in the building. Give me 1 second, because I was trying to show the thumbnail I edited for tonight's live, and it was not showing up on the background. There we go. That's the one I was looking for. I think I'm gonna leave this up here. Matter of fact, let me get the other with the overlay. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. So yes, happy Juneteenth to all of my melanin folks, to all of my ancestors who paved the way for us to have the freedoms that they did not. I honor every one of you. I edited multiple thumbnails, and then I was like, you know what, I'm being way too indecisive. Let's just go with this one. And I'm gonna give a quick short history lesson. Y'all bear with me, because apparently the dinner I ate, I'm having the belchies, so bear with me. But for those who don't know what Juneteenth is, because I do, recognize that I have international subscribers as well, I want to kind of just briefly tell you about Juneteenth, and then I'm going to share with you some very positive, celebratory posts that really inspired me today that I saw on Instagram. And also share with you guys some good news. Like Granddad off the Boondocks. Some good news I got tonight on Juneteenth that let me know my ancestors are not only with me, but they are truly working behind the scenes to aid in my manifestations and the things that I've been calling in. Because I told y'all about the casting call I went to Saturday night. Well, I got a call tonight and I was selected. I will be in the upcoming video with Flip and with Corey with the Keys. And also there is a huge event that I was requested to be at, because the people that I met during the casting call, the positive feedback, apparently news has traveled, and now there's an opportunity for me to collaborate and meet with other business owners for not just, modeling, acting, but singing, my multimedia production, editing, and the Just D show. So yeah, Just D show is going places quickly, and that's all I can share for now, but I am very excited about the upcoming video shoot. I'm very excited about the upcoming events over the weekend and next week. I like just so many doors are opening. I've been invited to 5 different events over this next week. So I'm speaking into existence right now for my body to cooperate with me for every event, and for every door to open up for the biopsies and for the surgery, so that I really can truly go on to be the melanin queen that I am destined to be. So shout out to my ancestors. That was such a beautiful thing to actually get that call tonight on Juneteenth. Like, hey, you know, we really want you to be there, and the positive feedback, because I was so nervous. I was so nervous, and I wasn't feeling well, and I didn't even sleep that night because of what I was going through with my health. I decided to just, stay up because that's how bad I wanted to make it to the event, and then had an episode right around the time the event was starting. And so I got there later than I wanted to, but still made it there on time enough to do the runway walk, to sing, and to just allow them to kind of get to know me and get to know my background and the things, the different talents and skills that I have. So again, shout out to my ancestors for that. I am so excited. And no matter what I'm going through with my health, I am always speaking abundance and healing. Even when I'm having my episodes, I pray over my body, because I know that this is all just part of the journey. It's all a test. And I'm grateful to my angels, ancestors, and spirit guides, and the Most High God within me that has given me the strength to persevere through all the challenges, especially with my health. It's been something I didn't really recognize until it was pointed out to me, that I'm very resilient. I was like, because a lot of times when you are going through it, you don't see your strength. Other people see it, but you don't, especially Scorpios, because we're always striving to do better and, striving to achieve more and more and more. And I want to really thank my good brother Cody and Dion. Both of them have been just very positive support systems. And I want to thank both of you for showing me that I'm strong in times where I have felt weak, at times when, I was feeling discouraged or feeling like giving up. And then, God sends the people to speak life into me. And I'm just really grateful for that. So I am very excited about the new opportunities that are presenting themselves. It's an amazing thing to actually see manifestations really happen. Like, because you pray for it and you set your intentions, do your mantras, do your affirmations. And as humans, like especially me, I'll speak on me. Scorpios, we have this misconception that we're controlling, but it's more of a manage. Like, I'm so used to managing my life. I'm used to, working and having multiple jobs and having multiple streams of income. And then when everything just kind of broke down, it wasn't a negative thing. It wasn't a karma thing. It was an alignment thing. If I was still working for Progressive, none of this would have happened. Literally, none of this would have happened, because I wouldn't have had time for any of it. And so I fully understand why I lost my job last year, why I had to go through every single situation that I had to go through from the time I lost my job until now. It all led me to this realignment. So a lot of times what we perceive as a loss is actually alignment. It just doesn't feel like it at the time. So I'm really grateful for all the people that I met on Saturday. That whole experience was just, it was an amazing turn of events, because here I am like nervous, because I'm like, man, I'm getting here later. I'm walking, but I'm in like level 8 pain. It hurts to walk. It hurts to sit, I haven't been to sleep. I really need to rest. I really need to lay down. And I was like, nah. And my ancestors kept telling me, like, go, just go. We got you. Just go. And I was amazed at the response from, you know, the judging panel and from the business owners and the people that I met at Up Above Entertainment. By the way, shout out to Up Above Entertainment. Shout out to Flip the Freestyle King. Shout out to Corey with the Keys. Shout out to everybody I met there. Aldo, Alejandro, I forget the young lady's name. I think her name was Maria, the other editor. Elva, all the people that I met, it just was amazing. And I felt so welcomed. And that's an amazing thing, because, you know, when you're going into, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I've never done a casting call. That was my first time in my life ever doing that. I've never done a casting call. Now, modeling, yes, I've done that since I was a kid, all the way through, you know, my 20s, almost into my 30s, but I haven't done that in so many years. So, and then I'm more seasoned than some of the other, you know, people that were there, but I still walked in there believing in myself, because I'm like, you know what, I can do this, and I have other skill sets. You know, I'm multimedia producer, editor, been editing 20 plus years, producing content, producing TV shows, literally helped found the Apostolic Oneness Network. And, you know, I've just done a lot of things, and I have a lot of different skill sets. And that's what I market on my Instagram and my TikTok and YouTube and Facebook, and, you know, now even on Twitch and on Rumble. So it's like I've been putting out my work for a long time, and people would compliment me, but nothing ever like legitimate of people, you know, taking serious what I do, other than people asking for free work. Unfortunately, you know, hey, can you do this for me for free? No. My skill set, my time is money. So I appreciate those who have believed in me. I appreciate the positive energy. I'm super excited about the callback. I am very excited about what's coming up. And again, for this to happen on Juneteenth, this is like something historic that I will tell my children later. First casting call ever, got a call back, and invited to come and meet specific people, network, and really be able to make the right connections, as opposed to previous connections. Now I see why everything had to happen the way it did. All the, you know, vibrating out and tower moments and ending connections and betrayals and just all the bullshit. Because I was talking earlier, and I was like, you know what? My little Job experience has been going on for quite some time. I feel like I'm Daniel in the lion's den. Like, I've been in that lion's den for a long ass time with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the fiery furnace for a long time. But you know, when you are in the fire, you're refined like gold. And so I'm grateful in this moment, because no matter what challenges I've gone through, I've not regressed into toxic, self-destructive things that I used to do. I remember when I was a straight up alcoholic and drank 2 to 3 bottles a day. I remember when I used to be fucking with XOs and being fucked up all the time. I remember when I would, you know, use sex as a coping mechanism, and the fact that I have been celibate to prepare myself for marriage. It's just an amazing thing when you really stop and look at the progress, instead of always pressing forward trying to achieve more, and just kind of stop and look at, like, damn, I remember when I used to do that, and that was my norm. And I'm grateful that no matter what challenges I've gone through, those things are not something I even want to do. I have no desire for any of that. And that alone is a blessing. That's healing, that's growth. And so I really want this journey I've been on to be an inspiration to all of you. my future children, people in the future, just to not give up just because it might feel like shit's fucked up, Oh, why, like people, why do I have to lose my job? Or, why do I have to deal with this medical stuff? Or why? Because it's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. And it's not why me, it's how do I overcome? How do I push through this? How do I still stay focused and achieve my goals despite the challenges? And that's what I was saying when I was talking with Cody earlier. I said people have lied on me that don't know me, have made fun of me, when there are people who have literally had to clean up after I've had an episode that feel horrible about what I go through. And that are like, I can't believe you go through this every day. And how do you deal with it? Especially by yourself. Mentally, how do you deal with not knowing if the tumors you have are cancer or not? I don't focus on it. Because whatever I find out, I'm healed. Just like when I had thyroid cancer. Whatever is going on, I'm already healed. The more I speak that into existence, the more I'm going to vibrate that. So then I'm going to receive it. So it's not the challenges, it's what can I do to shift my frequency and my energy despite what I'm being faced with. And the one thing I remember I was telling my good brother is, you got to tune out the bullshit. Literally, you got to just tune all of it out. And just really focus on, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to achieve? One thing I can tell you guys and I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer in my 20s. In fact, I was 28. So I was very young, very fit. Because shit, that was back when I had 6-pack abs and worked out 4 to 5 days a week. Literally, and was working full time and was still working out 4 to 5 days a week. So I was super tiny. I was definitely modeling then too. And to be, get that call at work that we found malignant cells in your biopsy, was the worst shit ever. And so it's when I think back on that, it changed the way I looked at life. I was like, okay, well, if I got cancer, then that means I have a higher chance of not waking up tomorrow than most people. So if today was my last day on earth, what would I want to be doing? And I started my cheesecake business. So even though I was working for a call center, I still am a chef. I still was doing catering gigs. I still was getting orders and all of that. And it was my coworkers at the call center that convinced me to start my cheesecake business, because I would bring cheesecakes to our potlucks at the call center. I've always been one that if it looks like I may not have as much time, let me accomplish every fucking thing I can do right now while I can. Because really, tomorrow's not promised to any of us. You could be perfectly healthy and crash, have an accident, and die. None of us tomorrow's promised. So it's instead of focusing on shit that doesn't matter, if you have to look at life what if today is my last day living, what would I want to be focused on? Do I want to be focused on bullshit, or do I want to enjoy my life? I definitely want to enjoy my life. So I just want people to be encouraged by my journey, not to be worried about whether or not I have cancer, because I'm not worried about it. Like I said, whatever I find out when I'm able to get my biopsies done, I'm already healed. So it's just a matter of getting confirmation on if they're benign or if they're malignant. I did not do chemo with thyroid cancer. I did not take any medication. I still don't take medication for the half of my thyroid that's left that's still overactive. I just believe that what I speak into existence is what I'm going to manifest. And so what happened tonight, that was an actual manifestation, because all day today, I was super sick earlier this morning. I realized I had gotten a foodborne illness from the food I had ate last night or the night before. And yeah, I was severely sick until like 5:30 in the morning. And then I had to wake back up a few hours later. So I've just been like really physically out of it today. And I started to pray while I wasn't feeling well and while I was, in the bathroom and stuff. And I just kept repeating, I deserve to live my best life right now. So I receive an abundance of healing. Abundance is not just about money. It's an abundance of healing, an abundance of peace, an abundance of favor, an abundance of joy, because joy is where you find your strength. The joy of the Most High God is my strength. So then I just was like, you know what, let me focus on raising my vibration. And then sure enough, like, I'm seeing different posts and memes confirming, kept saying, there's about to be a miracle that's going to manifest in your life today. New opportunities are getting ready to present themselves. Then my homegirl, shout out to Goddess Mercy, when she did a reading for me, matter of fact, before Saturday, she told me, she was like, there's about to be this new big major opportunity that's going to open up a lot of doors, and you're going to actually be able to get paid to do what you love to do. And God's going to align you with the right people. And then I went to the event on Saturday, and then tonight I get the phone call. So it is just like, this literally manifested. Like, I manifested this despite what I'm going through, and oftentimes when I'm in the bathroom, I'm editing on my phone, like quite often. And so it's just like, I am just really still shocked and amazed in a good way. And I'm going to be editing the content from the tour of the Up Above Entertainment Studio. It was amazing. And it's so much that I recorded that I'm still editing, but I cannot be more grateful, regardless of the challenges, that finally, manifestations are actually happening in real time. And it is just amazing to me to actually see all this happen on the day that my ancestors actually got their freedom. So for those that were upset on July 4th when I said that I don't celebrate July 4th as Independence Day, that's because this is our Independence Day. Our ancestors were freed today on June 19th, not July 4th. July 4th, 1776, we were still enslaved. We were not free. That's why I don't celebrate the 4th of July. That has nothing to do with the slaves and the ancestors that built this country. We were definitely still enslaved. So I want to kind of educate you guys quickly on what Juneteenth is. I want to share some very inspiring, positive moments, and then we're going to get right into the roast. The roast is going to be funny as shit, because when I tell y'all we about to have a quick Throwback Thursday, but I'm about to roast certain motherfuckers, especially these geriatric rejects of YouTube, we about to laugh our asses off. But before we laugh our asses off, I got to educate y'all about what Juneteenth is. I just really wanted to start off the live. I'm amazed still. I am blown away right now, because I'm like, wow. First casting call ever. Get the call back. Major doors opening. Prayers being answered. I'm very grateful. On Juneteenth. Let me get to these comments real quick. Good to see you, my good brother. Thank you. And thank you, Cody, so much for your encouragement. For real. I really appreciate you. My other good brother in the building, Andrew, good to see you. Awan, good to see you, family. Good to see you. Jason Brown, good to see you. Grand rising to you as well. Yes, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see. I love when y'all be talking to each other in the chat. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited, y'all. Like, you don't even understand. I'm so excited. Love you back, my good brother. Yes. And you know what? Look, the ones that have been down for me throughout this whole period, like this past year, my cousin, shout out to my cousin. That's why I got delayed on starting a live, because she ended up calling me and we got to talking about so many things. And I love you dearly, and I hope that we get to see each other soon. Cause again, she been knowing me shit since I was actually even before they got married. Cause she's my cousin's ex-wife, but she's been knowing me for, let's see, we first met, I want to say like 13. Damn, that's a long time. So yeah, she's been knowing me damn near my whole life. And her and my cousin got married when I was either 18 or 19. And she just was like reminding me of a lot of things. And she was like, man, I'm really proud of you. And I said, bruh, as God continues to bless me, she's one of the main people that I'm bringing to celebrate with, because she has been there for me through everything. Even after my thyroid cancer surgery, I remember her coming to visit me and checking on me, making sure I was okay. And she's been there. She was there for me after I was raped by my ex-fiance. Like, she knows the things that I talked to y'all about. She's been around to witness it. So shout out to you, my cousin. Love you dearly. Thank you for the talk tonight. It was very encouraging. And like I said, the ones who have been there through the thick and thin, up and down, when I get where I know I'm going, where I keep being shown I'm going, and my premonitions, we're going to celebrate. Shout out to my second mom, Elissa's mom, who also has been there for me unconditionally and loved me unconditionally. Really do appreciate those who have shown unconditional support, and you guys mean a lot to me. And shout out to the DzPeepz that have been supporting me as well. I appreciate all of your guys' prayers, your positive energy, your positive chats. You stupid. And just your encouragement. So thank you. Andrew D, happy for you. Thing is, you're a really positive person. I think that when people get to know you, they feel you. Thank you, my love. Appreciate you, my good brother. I really do. Thank you so much. We got Miss William on the Rumble. No, y'all can stay on Rumble, because I'm gonna probably, do what I did before, like start it on YouTube and then finish it off on Rumble. Or, I don't know. I may not. I know that I'm going to still be doing... There's another Pizzagate documentary that I found that I want us to do a watch party. That will for sure be on Rumble. And then the updates about Trump and Iran and the war there. I actually want to speak on that tomorrow. So that will all be on Rumble, because there's content on Rumble that I want to show you guys, as well as content on my Instagram. But so yeah, it's up to you, Miss Williams, because like I said, I may end the stream to YouTube and switch over to Rumble. Or right now we're multi-streaming on both. We're on Rumble, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitch, we're on Facebook, and we're on YouTube. So shout out to all of the viewers on every platform. I really do appreciate you guys so much. All right, so let's get right into the Juneteenth of it all. That way we can get into the roast. Hold on, let me pull up. How to close that tab? I want to pull up. I'm actually pulling up a couple of things on my Instagram. Give me a second. Shout out to Representative Jasmine. Every time I see this woman speak, I am inspired. I definitely am subscribed to her on YouTube and follow her on Instagram as well. You are our ancestors' greatest dream come true. Like, every time I hear her speak, I feel the ancestors so proudly, because exactly who she is in Congress is what they fought for. Like literally. And it's what the slaves died for. Every slave that was lynched, tarred and feathered, burned, carcasses, all of that. When I see this powerful melanin queen in Congress, outspoken, and that's what I love the most, is she don't give no fucks. Like, she's outspoken. She is what we need, and our ancestors are so very proud, and I am too, because as I've shared with you guys, my maternal grandmother, my mom's mom, picked cotton for a living, and so did my uncle. My uncle James, that I tell you guys about, the pastor and veteran who died from COVID. Him and my grandmother picked cotton for a living. So shout out to my Uncle James and my grandmother and all of my ancestors, my dad, my grandparents on my dad's side, my grandma and grandpa Rodriguez. Shout out to my aunt, my mom's only sister, who became one of the first Black opera singers back home. You know, just there's so many trends that my family has started, and yes, I follow in their footsteps. And the trend that I want to set for my children are broken generational curses, starting with these health conditions that we've all had to suffer with, and childhood trauma of, you know, sexual abuse and all that. I am the family member, I'm the ancestor that's going to break all of that shit. And I just want to thank my direct ancestors who have paved the way for me to be able to be free and sit here and speak to you guys about the foundation they laid for me, you know. So Juneteenth is, for us, our victory day. Truly, it's our victory day. July 4th has nothing to do with Black people. Like, I'm just being honest. It doesn't. Because again, when you really think about our history in this country, we were not free at all. We were still building this country. America was built on the backs of slaves, period. Like, that's just the truth. So people need to fully understand that. And I feel like if people really understood what our ancestors went through to build the United States of America, there would be more respect for our race. And if we can get our people to deprogram the Willie Lynch mentality, we can become very powerful again. Because at the end of the day, hell, in the 60s, I really need people to understand, like, the 60s, the civil rights movement was such a big deal because we were unified. We were powerful as a people because we were unified, because we came together. We had a Black Wall Street, the Million Man March. These are all things that happened because we decided to come together instead of fighting with one another all the time. So I really, again, I want to be able to positively influence the next generation to remember what our ancestors went through and stop wasting time on bullshit. If you have talents, use it. They didn't, I mean, for real, our ancestors didn't, you know, die and go through all of what they went through for us to be sitting up here on some bullshit with each other. We would have never had a Black Wall Street, and we would have never overcome in the civil rights movement if we were divided. And being from the home of Malcolm X, I know that a lot of people in Philly and in New York honor Malcolm X, but Malcolm X is from my home, Omaha, Nebraska. Malcolm X's first household was not the tourist site on Pinckney. Malcolm X lived in the projects directly across the yard from my grandmother, the same grandmother that picked cotton for a living. So, yeah, my family is a huge part of history. And me being from the home of Malcolm X, where we do celebrate melanin excellence, anyone who knows anything about Omaha, Nebraska, if you go to the north side, the whole hood is dedicated to Malcolm. 24th Street dedicated to Malcolm. He's in the museums. He's everywhere. There's even a monument statue of him on the north side of Omaha. So that's why, like, y'all see me, I don't tolerate no form of racism from nobody. Because where I'm from, we don't. Especially, you know, me growing up having to dealt with that. Because I'm an 80s baby. So in Nebraska, you didn't see a whole lot of your teachers being black. You didn't really see black people in powerful spaces. You saw black people in the hood. You saw black people technically segregated to, like, working in fast food and, you know, working in the lower income poverty side of the economy. You never really saw black people in powerful positions or powerful spaces. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, it wasn't until my first year of culinary school, my instructor for my entrepreneurship class was a black man. I didn't have black teachers growing up. And I was called nigger and gal and colored and, you know, and talked down to and treated like I'm less than just because I'm black. And then because of my last name, I got it twice because, oh, you know, you got a Mexican last name. We ain't even damn Mexican. My grandfather has certain heritages, but my grandfather changed his name. So it's like, it's just people that, you know, when ignorance is there and you've grown up in those environments where people ask me, why do you talk the way that you do? Well, most people where I'm from talk the way that I do. I lead with my professional voice. The way that we grew up, even though we're from the hood, you can't be hood in a professional environment because they will get rid of you in a heartbeat. Like, if seriously, in Nebraska, they're very racist. You knew if you go into a professional space and you start talking like you from the hood, they're not only gonna not take you serious, they're gonna find every reason to get rid of your ass. So you have to always speak professionally unless you're actually in the hood with your people. Now, if I'm in the hood kicking it with my people, I'm going to talk how I talk around my people. But if I'm in a professional environment, I'm going to speak with a professional voice. And then growing up in a business, because again, we had an event catering business where we did weddings and catered. And then we also had a church. So, like, we always had to be professional in the way that we speak and in the way that we talk upon meeting people. And then, you know, like I said, if I'm in the hood kicking it, that's different because, shit, I'm going to talk how I talk at home. But it's just the fact that you knew you can't go into this business, as the ignorant people say, acting black. You can't sound too black. You can't sound too ghetto. You gotta act like them. I said, I'm not finna act like nobody. I'm gonna be me. And if the way I wear my hair offends you, then that means there's something wrong with you. If my afro offends you, if my braids offend you, if my blackness offends you, there's something wrong with you. That's what Malcolm taught us. You don't water yourself down to make other people comfortable. However, when you are surrounded by ignorance, make sure you're professional in certain environments. Because if not, they're going to treat you like an ignorant ass nigga. That's the reality. So for those that don't understand why I'm so passionate about racism, why I'm always uplifting our people, it's not about, oh, she don't like other races. It's you don't know what the fuck I went through growing up. And the way Malcolm set the example for us to not take no shit off of nobody, especially like white supremacists, we not fucking with that. And I don't fuck with no race. I don't care what color you are. If you act like you better than me, I'm gonna check you real quick and remind you that my ancestors built the very ground you walk on is running with the blood of the slaves. The slaves built America. Christopher Columbus did not sail the ocean blue and discover America. Christopher Columbus came over here befriending the indigenous and then started pillaging and raping them. If we're going to talk about history, we're going to talk about real history. So when it comes to me uplifting my people, trust me, there's a reason why I'm so passionate about it. And I celebrate melanin excellence because that's what we are. And that's what our ancestors fought for us to be. That's what Juneteenth represents, is freedom. And it's freedom in Texas. It's when the slaves didn't know that they were no longer slaves. Right here in Texas. So we have a very strong, the strength of perseverance comes from ancestors that persevered through slavery onto freedom. And it's a very beautiful thing. A very beautiful thing to see that their labor was not in vain. And their sacrifice was not in vain. And I honor every one of my ancestors. Thank you. Because without them, I wouldn't be here. And because of them, I am here. Let me share. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find these photos. Hold on. Because I want to show you guys my grandmother and my uncle. Hold on. Okay, that's some of the pictures. That ain't all of them, though. Y'all let me know how the volume is on the background music. Where is the picture of Grandma? I got that one, but I need the picture of Grandma. Oh, you know what? I can just go to my, I forgot. I can just go to my YouTube channel and show you guys because it's on there. Give me a second to pull that up. Because this is definitely a day to honor their sacrifice. Again, because of them. Because of them. And then I actually found, there's a few posts I do want to share with you guys that inspired me on Instagram, but there's one in particular that actually gives you, it's not very long. It gives you a short version of the history of Juneteenth. And man, when I think about my ancestors, it just makes me want to cry happy tears. They have done so much for us, and without their sacrifice, literally, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here to celebrate them. And definitely when I have my children, just like how my parents taught me, you know, I didn't learn about none of this shit from school. My grandma, my actual grandmother, she taught us about our history, and my dad, even though my parents were divorced, the thing I loved about it is both parents educated me and my sister about our heritage, about our grandparents, grandparents, and what our ancestors went through. They didn't wait for the school to educate us. They educated us at home. And then my grandma would talk to me about things, and then my grandfather on my dad's side, he would talk to me about a lot of things. And share with us like what our ancestors really went through. And it's just been, it's an amazing thing to see those stories that my grandparents told us as little children, to see it really play out in real time. And yeah, they went through so much. They went through so much, and because of them, we are here. I also am trying to find that song by Selena. Shout out to Selena Johnson. Selena, Black Balloon with her dad. Is this it? Okay, because that's another ancestral song that I love, and it inspires me so much. And her father is a legend, and he is an icon in the music industry as well. Okay, where is... I might do better looking at my own profile. Because yeah, people do, we all have a lot, but I know I have a post where I use that song in the background recently. Oh, you know what? I can make this so much simpler if I just thought about it. I can just pull this up on YouTube because it's on YouTube. Let me just do that instead. And then, like I said, I want to give a little bit of history on this, and then we're going to get into the roast. We're also going to do a little bit of Throwback Thursday, a little bit of Men on Film and Living Color, and some other laughs, because like I said, the roast is definitely necessary. Hold on. Is this it? Yes, okay, I did find it. So when it comes time for me to play that song by her, I'll switch the banner over to the copyright. So let me get right into share screen. Hold on, go back. Oh my bad, I'm just now seeing more comments popped up. Hold on, you guys. Thank you so much, Miss Williams. Appreciate you, my love. Thank you. Loving the melanin skin I'm in. I know that's right. I love my melanin. I'm telling you. That's okay. She said, I see people. You silly. You silly. Yeah, exactly. Our parents taught us about it. Kim Trails, good to see you. Good to see you. Yes, I love Selena. Like, she is amazing. Yes, we're gonna do the throwback and all that. Not sure, you know she'll catch the replay. Riri always catch the replay. Trust me. So yeah, okay, let me get to the share screen so we can get into it. Present screen. Okay. Oh, I guess I gotta take the picture down. Damn it. Well, y'all got to see the thumbnail. Hell, it's all right. But I gotta move that off the screen so y'all can see what I'm presenting. Okay. There we go. So shout out to the 757 signatures. Thank you. We have reached our first milestone of 750 signatures on my Stop YouTube Global Cyberbullying and Gang Stalking Take Action Now petition. Y'all make sure to continue to share the petition. Share. That is the most important thing. And again, thank you to all who have been supporting. And then for all of the real rejects of YouTube that we're going to be roasting tonight, y'all make sure to visit betterhelp.com. Now, I like to do roast because I like to laugh and have satire. But a lot of y'all need help. So hit the link. Little Tink Tanks. Hit that link. Okay? Hit the link. Go get the help you so desperately need to find out why you keep watching me. Bars. Especially when you claim to hate me so much, but you can't stop watching. There's nothing worse than a person obsessively watching somebody they claim that they can't stand. That means you love that person. Hit the link. 3 pages over, hit advice. Come down here to categories. Find whatever is wrong with you. Because some of y'all definitely got this going on. Not a joke, because I got a sister that struggles with this. Get the help you need. You definitely need it. So go on and hit the link. Little Tink Tanks. Now, moving on. I do want to share... Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to have to... Do I have to reload it? Because I want it to start over from the beginning.
The story of Juneteenth starts on June 19, 1865, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Act ended slavery in Confederate States. Major General Gordon Granger and Union soldiers delivered the news that slavery had ended to 250,000 people who were still enslaved in Texas. Black Americans celebrated. Freedom brought huge progress in the years after the war. Literacy rates jumped 70% in the subsequent 40 years, and 22 Black Americans were elected to federal government. But when Reconstruction ended in 1877, attempts to build communities were met with violent attempts to restore the power of balance of the pre-civil rights years. Throughout the 1900s, Juneteenth celebrations continued, highlighting advancements within the family and community and honoring ancestors. In 2016, Opal Lee, an activist in Fort Worth, Texas, set out to make Juneteenth an official holiday by walking from her home in Texas to Washington, D.C. She reached Washington by walking 2.5 miles a day, representing the number of years it took for news of emancipation to reach Texas. In 2021, Lee's campaign was successful. President Biden signed legislation making Juneteenth a federal holiday. Today, Juneteenth is an opportunity to celebrate Black Americans' contribution to American culture and honor the continuing quest for freedom, justice, and equality. The story of Juneteenth starts on June 19, 1865, 2.5 years after the Emancipation Act ended slavery in Confederate States. Major General Gordon Granger and Union soldiers delivered the news that slavery had ended to 250,000 people who were still in
250,000 people were still enslaved. 1865. But yet people are mad because we don't want to celebrate the 4th of July, 1776. We were not free. This is why today means everything to us. This is our equivalent to July 4th. This is our emancipation. This is our freedom. June 19th, 1865. Not July 4th, 1776, which, by the way, is also the same day and year that the Illuminati was founded. So I need people to fully understand. Like I said, I know I've got some international viewers that may have never even heard of Juneteenth. This is why this is so important, and I will never forget when Biden allowed Juneteenth to become a national holiday. See, again, my ancestors, the slaves, they did not have this. Can y'all imagine? Just think for a second. All of the slaves that were lynched, raped, murdered. I mean, hell, even back home, they used to lynch slaves in front of the courthouse in downtown Omaha, and then they would either tar and feather the dead carcasses, or they would burn the carcass and then attach the burnt carcass to the back of the police cars and drive them up and down downtown, and they'd have a big parade about it. So imagine those ancestors seeing this happen for us. Over 250,000 slaves in Texas had no idea that they had been emancipated. All things our ancestors literally died for. And this one walked from Texas to DC. Shit. Ain't nobody nowadays about to do that shit. We not. She is another example of our ancestors' dreams coming true. Viola Davis is as well. So is Selena Johnson. So is Representative Jasmine Crockett. So many. We have become so powerful because of them. This woman is a straight up G. Because let's be real, ain't none of us about to walk, especially as hot as it is in Texas. Hell nah. Ain't nobody, and then Fort Worth, shit. Ain't nobody finna walk from Fort Worth all the way to goddamn Washington. We just not finna do it. She did it. This makes me so proud to be a melanin woman. It really does. So shout out to Viola Davis. As y'all can see, I left a comment. We are Melanin Excellence. Shout out to all of them. Now, is this the same post? Oh, it is the same post. Okay. I didn't realize I brought that up twice. Now, this one from Jasmine Crockett, I love. And again, she is my favorite. I love her energy because she gives no fucks. Like, for real. She gives no fucks. She's straight to the point. I just feel like if Jasmine's not a Scorpio, she definitely got Scorpio in her chart. When I look at the way she handles these people, she's not backing down to shit. She got a little bit of Malcolm in her. She definitely got a lot of Harriet Tubman, because Harriet Tubman was a straight up G. She definitely got Maya Angelou. She has the ancestors within her. Like, really and truly, she does, because she's very powerful, and she's also an example of what I was talking about, knowing how to put your professional energy on when you're in professional settings so that people will take you serious, but also not negating your blackness to do so. And I love that. I absolutely love that. She posted Juneteenth as a powerful reminder of how far we've come and how much further we still have to go. It marks the moment freedom finally reached our people right here in Texas. And she's from Texas too. Our people took what was withheld and built something powerful. Resilience, pride, and a legacy we carry to this day. We remember those who fought to get us here, and we stay in the fight to make sure nobody's left behind. I love that, because we are so resilient as a people, and we have overcome so much. And I just want to say to all of my melanin people, I love us. I really do. I love us. Even the ones I gotta roast. I hope y'all get y'all shit together. I'm only roasting you because you've been talking shit and I like to laugh. But even with y'all, get y'all shit together. Start, like, can we please get to a place where we rise above the fuckery? Now, one thing about me, what you not finna do is just keep talking shit about me and think I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna roast your ass. But when it really comes down to it, y'all, our ancestors really did fight and die so that we could have freedom. And we would be so much further in life and so much stronger if we would do as the ancestors did. They were able to make a difference because they became unified. And with Harriet Tubman, when she was freeing the slaves, you know how many of them slaves tried to turn back? Just like they did in the Bible, when they brought them out of Egypt. And she had that shotgun and said, if you think about turning back, I got this shotgun on your back. The song that Erykah Badu did, she spoke about that. I'm trying to think which the name of that song is from her New America album. Is it part 1? I So that's the one called Soldier. Yeah, that's from New America, part 1. And she sings that in her lyrics. If you think about turning back, I got the shotgun on your back. She was referring to Harriet Tubman. So Harriet Tubman freed the slaves. Slaves were freed in Texas. 250,000 had no idea they were free until June 19th, 1865. Because of that woman walking. Again, man, people be like, how are we this strong? Man, look at our heritage. Look at what the slaves had to go through. They got through slavery because they were tapped into spirituality. They got through slavery because they united. And of course, there were some that weren't, you know, all the Uncle Ruckuses of them all. But for the most part, we've been a united people, and it was a Willie Lynch mental conditioning that caused the division. And they had to do that because even the slave masters saw the power of our unity. And so they had to do all those disgusting things like the buck breaking, the lynching, the beating of slaves in front of others to instill fear, to break up the black family. And now we have the opportunity in our generation to bring it back, to bring the healing so that their sacrifice is not in vain. And so I just love the representation that I saw today. Now this one I do want to start over and I love this too. She's on The View. Not gonna hold you, I'm not loving this wig at all, especially the fact I could see her wig glue. I really wish more black women would wear their natural hair. I really do, because we're beautiful without that bullshit. But I love that she spoke to Whoopi here. Give me 1 second to turn on the volume.
Tell me about Juneteenth.
Listen, now I'm a Texan.
Can you just... What the fuck?
Tell me about Juneteenth.
Listen, now I'm a Texan. So I feel like the rest of the country is just now kind of getting tuned in. But I will tell you that being a black woman, and for those that don't understand Juneteenth, this was about the fact that the last slaves down in Texas finally 2 years later realized that, or were made aware that they were no longer enslaved people. But in this time, though, especially with the anti-DEI movement and the rollback just of our civil rights and our civil liberties as a whole, as well as ignoring the Constitution, and there's so many rights that black folk got specifically just from the Constitution, I think that this Juneteenth, everyone, whether you're black or otherwise, should really evaluate what does freedom look like in this country, and are we willing to fight for it? And I think, you know, evaluating what happened at No Kings, I think we are ready and willing to fight for our freedom. But I think that it is important that we come together and we define what freedom looks like for those of us in this country, not just black folk.
We're celebrating Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Tell me about Juneteenth.
Listen.
What I love the most, Whoopi Goldberg played Celie in The Color Purple. And I saw that movie as a young girl. And even then, the colorism that was going on in Hollywood, they didn't care for having very many darker skinned, or as I like to say, deeply melanated women on the big screen. And it was Whoopi and Oprah, both with deeper melanin skin in that movie. And the girl that played Whoopi's sister was even more darker and deeper melanin skin. That was like an iconic thing for our generation even then, to see that. To see a movie where it's all these beautiful black people coming together to show us just how things went down during that time. How young girls, technically, if we really think about it, even on that movie, the fact that she was taken from her family and forced to be Mr.'s wife, technically Celie was trafficked. technically. And they took her babies from her because that man impregnated her when she was only 15. Like, that shit was so common. My aunt, my mom's only sister, that happened to my grandma. My mom told me about it. My grandma got pregnant with her when she was younger, and because the family, that's what they did back then, so the family wouldn't be shamed, they would take the babies from the girls that got pregnant younger, or if you got pregnant out of wedlock. And that was why my aunt always had a certain level of resentment towards my mom and my uncle and my other uncle, because she's like, well, you know, mama didn't give me up, she kept y'all. But my mom said grandma was like, I think 16 when she got pregnant. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe my grandmother was raped and got pregnant with my aunt. That was also why they took her. That type of shit was so common in our race. And I think about that, you know, how many babies were ripped from their biological mother because some older man got them pregnant and or raped them and impregnated them. How many slave masters would rape the slave women and impregnate them? That's why we end up with all these different shades of melanin and mixed and all of that. Just how common all this stuff was. I think about what my direct ancestors went through. And it's because of them that people like Representative Jasmine Crockett can sit on The View with Whoopi Goldberg, who played in such a historical movie and who also overcame the stigma of being considered a dark-skinned black woman, just like Angie Stone. And with Angie Stone, it was double because she was darker skinned and heavy set. Like, it's a shame how black women in this industry have been treated, when if it wasn't for our ancestors, there would be no United States of America. Let's just be honest, there wouldn't be. So when I look at Jasmine, she is a representation of what they died and fought for. They fought and died for us to have exactly what we have, for her to be exactly where she is, for Whoopi to be exactly where she is, for all of the melanin people who are in the spotlight, being the example for them to be where they are. And like I said, she's speaking professionally, but she's not acting like she's not black. Like, there's some people that are like, oh, I have to completely deny my blackness to be accepted. No, the fuck you don't. Just know how to carry yourself in certain settings. And when you with your people, be how the fuck you are. That's how come I talk the way I do. I'm from the hood, but I know how to act in certain environments, whether it was brought on by trauma due to racism. I know that in certain settings, I got to be professional. There's nothing wrong with that. But she still is sitting here in all of her melanin glory outside of that wig, baby. That wig got to go. I'm going to have to roast your wig after this. Because that wig is atrocious because of who she is. I don't know who the fuck did her hair, but baby, that ain't, nah. You could have wore your afro and looked better. But regardless, like, for her to be where she is because of their sacrifice. And today really shouldn't just be celebrated by black people. That's why I'm glad Biden made it a national holiday. All of United States needs to be celebrating the ancestors whose literal blood, sweat, and tears, deaths, and lynchings and abuse was built on. And when I call on my ancestors to protect me, a lot of them be the slaves. That's why when people start getting whooped up in the spirit world, you know, when they start fucking you up spiritually, I keep telling people, I ain't the one to fuck with. You're not prepared to deal with my spiritual protection, because it's them that are coming for your ass. The angry ones that got lynched, that don't play about me, they coming for your ass. Now this I like, because one, this was disturbing to me when this popped up, on Instagram. That's why I loved seeing how the View knew they had to clean that shit up by bringing on Jasmine Crockett, because this was posted 15 hours ago, but this is what I saw the other day. I don't know who she is because I don't watch The View, but lady on the end of the black dress, the way she was so committed to misunderstanding what Whoopi was saying about black people in America having it just as bad as people in Iran. We have it worse, okay? Let's be honest. The reason we have it worse is because we are citizens here. We're not from some foreign country. This is our shit. We built this. But yet we are being treated like we're less than. And it's only when we rise up and say, no, we're not going to be treated like that, as Malcolm did. Malcolm was a fighter. Whoopi, the way she handled this situation was very professional and very strong, but it pissed a lot of people off. The fact that this woman was so dismissive, and the fact that the other co-hosts were trying to explain to the young lady why what she was saying was offensive, and it's just like she was literally just committed to not understanding nothing Whoopi is saying, because you can't explain to a person who is not black, who has never experienced racism the way that we have, why that's an issue in this country. Because they, like her, I'm gonna be honest, if you look at this woman in the black dress, she does not look black at all. So if I walk into a business, especially back home, if me and her walk into a building, they're not gonna follow her around. They will follow me around because I'm black. Like I've had that happen to me, even as an adult. Hell, even in Florida, when me and my ex would like go places and we would always be dressed nice, them Trump supporting white supremacist energy ass motherfuckers be clenching their purse and acting like everybody's out to get them because they're ignorant. But that's the type of shit black people have to go through just because my skin is black. Not because I'm a criminal, not because I'm finna snatch your purse, but just because out of sheer ignorance, you saw my skin color and assumed I'm a thug. Even though we dress better than y'all. I'll never forget that shit, because we got out the car to go to the boardwalk, and I was like, and I was new, there. I said, why are these people acting like we about to rob them? He said, oh, you in Florida, they ignorant as hell out here. You know what they reminded me of? All them ignorant ass racist people I grew up with in Nebraska. That's how they act back home. So me being from the influence of Malcolm X, who made a difference in the face of racism, especially in Nebraska, nah, we not fucking with that shit. We not. You're not finna treat me like I'm less than you. You're not finna treat me like I'm a criminal. I remember this one fat white boy when the first time I wore my afro to the Walmart when I was in Mobile in Alabama. And I guess he called himself trying to be slick. And they walked past me, and as he walked past me, he was like fuzzy wuzzy and said the shit to his girl. I'll never forget that shit. I said, okay, ancestors, because I know my scorpionic ass, I could have lit his ass up verbally, but I didn't. What I did is I walked right up to him and looked him dead in his eyes, and you never want to have a Scorpio look you in your eyes because we looking straight into your soul. I said, what did you just say? When I tell you his whole face went beet red, he started stuttering. I said, you just called me fuzzy wuzzy. You talking about my afro, right? Let me tell you something. I'm a 2-time thyroid cancer survivor. I'm grateful for my hair. I said, let me tell you something else. My ancestors built the very ground you walking on. So before you ever disrespect another black person by referring to their afro as fuzzy wuzzy, be very careful the way you treat us, because you never know when my ancestors might introduce themselves to you. He looked like he was about to shit himself. And the girl he was with was so embarrassed. She just kept apologizing. I'm so sorry. He's ignorant. He's from a small town. I said, it don't matter. I still need to educate both of y'all. See, I could have cussed them out. I could have acted a fool. Oh, no, ma'am. Because, see, when I walk up on you, my ancestors is with me. You feeling them, too. Yeah, he probably did go shit himself because he was very nervous. And she just kept apologizing and looking all scared. I just walked off. Like, what you not finna do is disrespect me in my face. And I'm from the home of Malcolm. Malcolm wasn't nice about shit. Malcolm and them, they was the first people to pull up on folks. So again, we go through a lot of dumb shit just because of our skin color, not because we doing anything wrong. And so it really bothers me, especially when it is people of other races that are considered minorities. She would be considered a minority. Why are you being dismissive of the struggle black people go through and say it's not the same or as bad as what people in Iran are going through? I've never known a person from Iran to be treated with racism by another person from Iran. I don't know any Iranians who, you know, get stereotyped, who have to deal with racial profiling everywhere they go. I just don't know that that's something that goes on in Iran. But I can guarantee you, if you're gay, for sure, they not fucking with gay people in Iran or Ghana. And I'm guarantee you, as a black woman, especially a black woman wearing my hair out, not covered, yeah, it would be just as bad for us in Iran as it is in America. So it was just the fact that Whoopi was trying to get her to be like, because, you know, she already knew that girl was going to get backlash, which she did, because when y'all go look at these comments, they was ripping her ass apart. How do you compare what black people in America go through to what people in Iran are going through? And while I'm on this, because it's Pride Month, I am openly bisexual, but the struggle black people go through ain't nothing like the struggle gay people go through. Let's be very honest. Now, I'm black and bisexual, so it's 2 times hard for me, especially when I was dating women, strictly only women. But those are 2 different struggles. Because when you walk in a building, now of course there's people that are flamboyantly gay and there's people that's not. For those who are not flamboyantly gay, you don't get profiled when you walk in a building, because nobody knows that unless you share that with them. When you're black, they don't have to know you. They don't have to know nothing about you. They just take one look at your skin color and say, you are a thug, you are horrible. They used to condition white people to think that all black men, all black slaves were going to rape white women. That's why this shit happened to Emmett Till. That's literally why Emmett Till was killed. Because those white people were conditioned that black slaves, specifically black men, were going to rape them. Probably more of a guilty conscience, because they know that their ancestors used to rape and buck break black men. But for the longest time, that was a perception. And I know this to be true because of people I've grown up with that were white that even admitted that shit to me. Especially the ones that were raised in them small towns in Nebraska. Because they only know about black people based off of what they saw on TV, because wasn't no black people in their towns. So they really believed that all black men were dangerous and were going to rape them. Meanwhile, not even knowing that the majority of the black men they were afraid of were being raped by slave masters. So it's this thing that our race goes through because of how we were born. I didn't get to choose to be black. I was born black. Would never change it for the world. But the struggles we go through in America are definitely just as bad, if not worse, again, because we're citizens here. We're not illegal immigrants. Born and raised, country built on the backs of our ancestors, the slaves. This is the home of the slaves, not the home of the free. So it's just a crazy thing when I see women like her committed to not only misunderstanding, but committed to being dismissive of the Black struggle, I have a very big problem with that. I'm going to go ahead and play what it says, but this really rubbed me the wrong way.
Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals, and I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
They are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They cannot
talking about
they
the
cannot
United
be built.
States. I'm talking about here.
Nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That's no one's intent. But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country, and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry. You know, when you think about the fact that we got the vote in 1965,
okay, they don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe. They can't go up.
Pause. Straight up, what Whoopi said to her is, when you think about we weren't even allowed to vote until 1965, she completely dismissed that by saying, well, they don't even have the right to vote. Who cares? We're talking about us here in America. We don't give a fuck about who is or isn't allowed to vote in Iran. We don't live in Iran. We live here. So I don't understand this woman's logic that we're supposed to feel all of this sympathy for Iran. I don't feel sympathy. I don't feel sympathy for a war that's been going on for centuries between Israel and Iran. That's a biblical thing. And what is meant to be will be. But racism in America has been a problem. Even with how far we've come, it's still a problem to this day. And I'm going to be honest and say this. That woman is a prime example. This is low-key subliminal racism. Because she's like, well, so yeah, you guys couldn't vote till 65, but they can't vote at all. Who gives a shit? Do we live over there? How does whether or not people can vote in Iran affect my life? Not at all. How does the fact that we were freed, think about this. Juneteenth, 1865, is the day that slaves found out they were emancipated. An entire century later, we still couldn't fucking vote, bitch. The fuck you talking about? Literally an entire century later, we still couldn't vote? But we were free for 100 fucking years, and you mean to tell me you're going to dismiss that to defend what's going on in Iran? Are you from Iran? Do you live in Iran? If you're so concerned, go over there and help them. But don't be dismissive of what black people in America go through because you're not black going through it. That shit really like pissed me the fuck off for real. Cause it's like, why are you it's again, the commitment to the misunderstanding of the black struggle is a big problem. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, this is why I've always found it hard to date outside of my race. Because of who I am. I just don't believe, no matter how hood another race is, I don't care if you grew up in the hood, if all of your friends are straight up niggas, at the end of the day, if your skin if it does not have melanin in it, you will never understand what black people in America go through. You just won't. And I got to a point where I will educate people, but I'm not going to convince you of my struggle because your skin is not black. I'm going to leave you in your ignorance. And if you take your ass to the wrong side of certain neighborhoods, they're going to educate you in a way that you're not going to like. And maybe they need to take her ass over to the north side of Omaha. Take her ass over there where Malcolm X's memorial is at, where all his memorabilia is at. Maybe that will help this woman understand why Whitney Houston's energy just came up. Why Whoopi Goldberg's words, why she's trying to get this woman to understand what she's saying. And the woman just didn't want to understand because she, I'm so dead set on my perspective of the situation. It's like you can't even try to empathize with what Whoopi's trying to get you to see because what you're saying is bullshit.
Out of their house. Women.
You know what? There's no way I can make you understand.
Literally.
It's like try to reverse roles with a black person in this country, let's say, because I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Just try to understand from their point of view. From that point of view, this country does not do them well. Does not go to them.
Completely acknowledge that.
So I love how, and I forget her name. I know her name because I've seen her on movies and shit. I love how she broke that down. Even as a white woman, she said, try to understand what she's telling you. And she's like, oh, I completely acknowledge it. No, you didn't, because you just told this woman to her face that it's not the same. You just sat here and told Whitney, or why does Whitney keep coming up in my energy? Why is Whitney coming up in my energy? Investigate. Got it. If this woman was understanding what Whoopi Goldberg was telling her, she wouldn't have sat there and went back and forth with her. And like I said, I forget the white lady's name. Fuck, I hate that I forget her name because I know who she is. But I love how she just was like, I'm feeling her energy. Like, how in the fuck does this dumbass not understand that what black people have and still go through is horrible? Have we forgotten about George Floyd? Have we forgotten about Trayvon Martin? Have we forgotten about all the black people, Breonna Taylor, Shanquilla, like the other, I forget the name of the lady that got shot by the white police officer. Just senseless killings for no reason. But, clearly, that's no big deal to her. It's a bigger deal to her that women in Iran can't vote. Here's the thing. Those people have a choice to leave. During slavery, we did not. And when niggas did try to escape, they got killed, or raped, and then killed, or lynched. Are people in Iran getting lynched for being Iranian? I'm serious. Are they getting lynched for their skin color? Do they have to deal with constant degradation? Do they have to deal with white supremacists calling them out their name and treating them like they ain't shit? They just had a whole white supremacist march in Kansas. I kept telling y'all that a lot of places in the Midwest are just as racist, if not worse than the South. Kansas is definitely one of them states. So is Missouri. Especially Missouri, because it's on the cusp of the South. Very racist. In Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa are all sundown states. And in some smaller towns, they still lynch black people. Now, I bet this dumbass bitch don't even know that shit. In small towns in Nebraska, black people still get captured and lynched to this day. And that's up north, as all the southern people here say. So we have a reason for the concern when someone else comes in and tries to downplay or dismiss what we actually go through because they are not the ones experiencing it.
And we shouldn't compare atrocities.
If you're talking about Iran, of course, is doing worse things, but relatively speaking,
well, you know
it feels bad.
Okay, but I think you know that Iran is significantly worse
I guess
than
we're
our
going to
country.
come back and
Listen, I was in
And I don't understand the constant, why does that even matter? She's like, well, I think, you know, Iran is much worse. How, Sway? How? Because of a biblical war? Again, let an Iranian person come over to America and go into the grocery store. I guarantee you they won't be followed around like black people are. You won't hear an Iranian person being called a nigger. You won't see them being lynched up on strings and shit, you know, nooses around their neck. You won't see that shit. So whatever is going on in Iran, leave that for them to figure they shit out in their own country. Because the reality is, let's be honest, and this is my opinion, we ain't got nothing to do with that shit. America is making themselves be involved for financial purposes, allegedly. There's a financial reason that America is even getting involved in this shit, just like with Vietnam. Anytime America gets involved with foreign affairs and foreign wars, it is always about either oil or some sort of money. And Iran is a part of Gog, just like Russia and Persia and all that. In Ezekiel 38, where it said, Son of man, set your face against Gog and Magog. We don't need to be worried about geopolitics and trying to compare some geopolitical bullshit in another fucking country to what black people go through in this country right before Juneteenth. This is why, again, that's why The View did this shit here. Cause how the fuck you let this bitch sit on your platform, and why is the other black woman sitting there not saying shit? Cause that's just making you look like a coon. I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna just sit here and watch this bitch sit next to me talking out the side of her neck. If I was sitting next to that bitch right there, I would have checked her ass on camera. The fuck you mean it's just as bad? You ain't black. You have no idea what we go through. Well, I did acknowledge. No, the fuck you didn't acknowledge shit. You said it's not the same. And Iran is much worse. Okay, so what? We supposed to feel sorry for them? Over some shit that ain't got nothing to do with us? You know how long Iran and Israel have been fighting? Since the days of Cain and Abel. This is something that's been going on before any of us was even born. So as a black person, I'm not going to be more concerned about what's going on in another country. I'm going to be concerned about what's happening to me and my people today, right now, in this country. And what can we do to stop that?
I'm going to come back and talk more about this.
And I know what happened.
And it's slow.
But let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights.
Listen, here's the thing. Let's not do that, because if we start with that, we have been known in this country to tie gay folks to the car.
Where the Iranian regime is today,
they used to just keep hanging black people. So
it is not even the same. I could accept.
See that right there when she said, and then they're not even the same. It's like what we just said. They still hang black people. She literally just confirmed what I was just telling y'all. And this woman is sitting here just dedicated to not even listening to her. Yeah, and they're not even the same. Well, maybe if your answers had been strung up on a rope and lynched and burned and tarred and feathered, I don't think you would be saying they're not the same. I just was like, this is not a good look for The View. And I think they maybe should have rehearsed this, and maybe they shouldn't have aired this, because it's just not a good look for them. that they should have shut that bitch up and took her off the set, or just not even whoever did their post-production. Y'all should have just cut this segment out, because it's going to upset a lot of people, especially black people, to see this woman sitting here being dismissive to a fucking legend. Again, Whoopi has been around probably longer than this young lady's been alive, because she looked young and she sounds dumb. It irritates my soul. I don't like other races devaluing the black experience. I don't like the trying to water it down or be dismissive or make it seem like it's no big deal, you know, what black people go through, because again, you're not black. You don't have to go through any of the struggles that we go through. And I do think it's a shame that 100 years after Juneteenth, it took that long for black people to be able to register to vote. Well into the 1900s, well into the 20th century. So again, the struggles that we have had to go through aren't not that few and far between. 1965 wasn't that long ago. And like I told y'all, growing up in Omaha, Peony Park, that was a whites only, and it was the only amusement park there, and the only major, you know, like major pool and stuff. That was segregated. My mom even told me, she said they didn't desegregate Peony Park until like 1975. So me being an 80s baby, of course I dealt with a lot of racism growing up. I literally was being called a nigger by my elementary school teachers when I'm in like 2nd and 3rd grade. You little nigger gal, come over here and get in line. The fuck? Did he just call me? So yeah, I have an issue with any person who is not black trying to downplay what we go through and what our ancestors went through. Because until it's you experiencing it, you really have no business speaking on it.
No, wait. That's not what you mean to say. It is the same.
No, it's not. The year 2025 in the United States is nothing like if I step foot wearing this outfit in Toronto.
I'm sorry.
Well, they went like around.
No, I can't have my hair showing. I can't wear a skirt. I can't have my arms out.
I'm telling you, as
I literally said it was up to the Iranian people.
This makes no sense. She's talking about how if she were to go over to Iran wearing what she's wearing, how she would be condemned and how it's not the same and it's so much worse over there. And Whoopi's saying to her, but it is the same. And she's like, well, but it's not. And then the other people are saying, well, you know, but why are you judging that? Well, you know, I'm not going to judge it, but that's what you're doing by claiming that what we go through here in America is not the same as what people in Iran go through. It just, the argument makes no sense.
And that's why I am saying that it is the same. Murdering someone for their difference is not good, whoever does it. It's not good. So that's why I said you weren't saying what I heard was not what you meant.
I think it's very different to live in the United States in 2025 than it is to live in Iran.
Not if you're black. Not for everybody.
And that's what she's saying.
Guys.
She said, I think it's different living in 2025 in the United States than living in Iran. And Whoopi is right. Not if you're black. No, it's not. This is why I am always so pro melanin excellence. Because of ignorant motherfuckers like this. It's not the same. Again, people in Iran are not dealing with being killed because of the color of their skin. They're not dealing with being lynched. They're not dealing with being racially profiled. They're dealing with a biblical, prophetic, spiritual war that mankind started. Not because of the color of their fucking skin. So people like this woman, I learned years ago, I'm not finna argue with stupid. If you want to be an ignorant motherfucker, you could be an ignorant motherfucker, but be an ignorant motherfucker away from me. Because if I'm telling you, my freedom fighting Malcolm X background ass would have cussed her smooth the fuck out after the show. Cause bitch, how fucking dare you downplay what we go through just cause you don't go through that shit. Like it really, and the way Whoopi handled this shit, she definitely had the patience of Job. She held it together. Like I said, she maintained her professionalism. But the tension on this set is definitely felt. And the white lady, god damn it, what's her fucking name? Now I gotta look it up because I know her name and I can't think of it. But the way she even broke it down to her, much respect to her for Joy Bear. Okay, that's her name, Joy Bear. I know her. The way she broke that down to that girl, like, try to imagine what it's like. She's a white woman knowing the way black people get treated in this country. It's like you have multiple people saying the same thing to you, and the way that Whoopi even tried to clean it up for the woman, because Whoopi ain't dumb. She probably the oldest one on the set. She's knowing if she keeps saying this shit, they're gonna boycott this show. Cause we not with this type of, you're just not finna do this. And she was very patient with her. She was like, what you're saying is not really what you mean, because if you really mean that shit, then you are sitting on this panel sounding like a fucking racist. While saying that that's not what you're doing. It's just some bullshit.
Let me tell you about being in this country. This is the greatest country in the world. But, yeah, I know that. And we all know that. But every day.
Let me be clear. This is not the greatest country in the world. People have to say things when they're on TV. Let's be honest. It's not. Especially not for us.
We are worried. Do we have to be worried about our kids? Are our kids going to get shot because they're running through somebody's neighborhood? They are not big deals. And I don't mean to say they're not big deals to you, because that's not what I meant.
And they are not doing well there either. They are not doing well in Iran. They are not educated. They have property. They cannot be States.
I'm talking about
nobody wants to.
And here go the white lady. And we're talking about women. They're not doing well in Iran. Okay, what are you doing to help the women in Iran that are not doing well? And Whoopi said to her again, we're talking about here. Why are y'all focused on a country you don't live in? Why is that all of a sudden so important? You know why it's all of a sudden so important? Because that's all the distractionary bullshit they have on social media right now. And let's be clear, Iran don't fuck with the U.S. at all. At all. That's why I don't even understand the discussion of them defending the people in it. They don't even fuck with this country. They don't even like the United States. The leaders of Iran don't even like Trump. And now they're threatening to fucking nuke us, allegedly. So this shit of, it's ironic. I think she's black. She might be mixed. The chick next to her, she's being very quiet, but I see on her face she's pissed off, and that's probably why she's being quiet. Joy spoke out the most. The other white lady is speaking out, defending women in Iran, when again, what are you doing to help them if you feel so bad for them? And this other woman sounds like she just wants to argue to just prove a point that is still making her look bad. Because it's not a good look that there's a white blonde-haired woman and another woman, she's racially ambiguous, but she clearly isn't Caucasian, that are defending and being so concerned about a whole other country that they don't live in. They're more concerned about another country than what we are going through in this country. And that is 1000% what Whoopi was trying to get them to see. And it's like, baby, they're not going to see because they don't want to. Leave them in. If people want to stay ignorant, I believe in leaving them there. If you want to stay in that ignorance, I'm going to leave your ass right there.
Because it's diminished the very real problems we have in this country. That's no one's intent. But I think it's important we remember there are places much.
And I don't understand how she says, well, I in no way am trying to diminish what happens in this country, but that's what you've done this entire conversation. Is literally diminished by saying it's not the same. And again, unless you live over there and have witnessed what they're going through, how do you know that? And what does that have to do with the black experience in America? Not a damn thing. Because I guarantee you, the women in Iran aren't sitting over there talking about us and how fucked up it is for black people over here. They're not over there defending black people. So this don't make no sense to me. It just seemed like some bullshit.
Much darker than this country, and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry. You know, when you think about the fact that we got the vote in 1965,
okay, they don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe.
They don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe. I think, baby, you in a different dimension. 'Cause none of what this woman is saying makes any logical sense. It just sounds like she, again, is committed to not understanding. She's committed to just wanting to kind of prove her point, and that's about it.
They can't go out of their house. The women.
You know what? There's no way I can make you understand.
No, let me try something. It's like try to reverse roles with a black person in this country, let's say, because I think that's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Just try to understand from their point of view. From that point of view, this country does not do them well. Does not go.
I completely acknowledge that.
And we shouldn't compare atrocities.
If you're talking about Iran, of course, is doing worse things, but relatively speaking,
Joy, you know
it feels bad.
Okay, but I think you know that Iran is significantly
I guess we're going to come back and
Listen, I was in college when that revolution took place, and I know what happened.
And the fact that they knew to cut this shit, yeah, because I think we all know Iran's a much worse country. Okay, so what the fuck you gonna do about it? Even if that is true. What does that have to do with black people in America? Not nothing. They're not gonna. Their people in Iran are not coming to the rescue of any black person in America. Not ever. They're not over in Iran like, hey, let's go celebrate Juneteenth. No, they're not. So all this like stupid shit is why people like me, why I speak so passionately and speak out against this type of ignorance. Because that's all it is. This is a whole panel outside of Joy Bear, honestly, and Whoopi. The rest of these motherfuckers is just ignorant as hell. So then of course we have the next episode. Notice they kept Whoopi. I'm about to look at this panel. I don't think I'm about to see one white person on this panel. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me reload it to see how it starts out the video.
Yeah.
Tell me about Juneteenth.
Listen, now I'm a Texan.
Yeah,
So I feel like the rest of the country is just now kind of getting tuned in. But I will tell you that being a black woman, and for those that don't understand Juneteenth, this was about the fact that the last slaves down in Texas finally 2 years later realized that, or were made aware that they were no longer enslaved people. But in this time though, especially with the anti-DEI movement and the rollback just of our civil rights and our civil liberties as a whole, as well as ignoring the Constitution, and there's so many rights that black folk got specifically just from the Constitution. I think that this Juneteenth, everyone, whether you're black or otherwise, should really...
So yeah, there's only black women on this panel. I'll say this for the View, this was the only way they could have redeemed themselves. Because that last one was a disaster, and that was just a day ago. They knew we have to get somebody on here who is positively black. And the most positively black national example is Representative Jasmine. Because I'm going to be honest, Kamala ain't for us. I don't care how many of y'all are all up her ass. Research Kamala's history with black people and the investment of locking up black men. And the fact that Kamala herself does not even refer to herself as a black woman. She only started doing that shit when she was campaigning. She resonates more with her mother's side of who she is. So the reason I like Jasmine is because she's not no flip-flopping, maybe I'm black today, maybe I'm not. She's full-on black. Full-on black. Still speaks professional, but also does not lose her blackness. It makes logical sense and speaks out against all the fuckery. Including, I've heard her speak out against the sexual abuse and the accusations and all the shit. I've heard her speak out against President grabbing by the pussy as well. She is one of our ancestors' greatest dream come true. Because she's not watering herself down. She's not cooning like Jaguar. She's being very firm in her position, but not from an angry, like ghetto ass, like ratchet ass place. No, she's being her professional self while also educating, like, hey, this is what Juneteenth is about. And the energy is even different. You can tell Whoopi doesn't feel frustrated. She doesn't feel uncomfortable. It was hard to watch because it's like, damn, y'all up here pissing off Whoopi. And Whoopi don't even be fucking with people like that. She's like one of the more chill actresses from back then. So that, again, I think maybe The View thought, well, this is good banter, difference of opinions, but it made, because when you have a network and a corporation, the people that you are employing or the people that are speaking on your behalf are a representation of your brand. That last video we just watched made The View look like they might be low-key racist. So Operation Damage Control, let's bring in Representative Jasmine. And let's have Whoopi talk with her. Let's show examples of positive black interaction with none of the ignorant bitches on panel with them. Shout out to them for that, but y'all really should not have even let that shit air. Especially as somebody who's actually produced shows. You could have easily just cut that whole segment out. But on the same hand, I'm glad they didn't, because what we just watched is what black people go through all the time. It just never gets televised. You know how many times I've experienced that shit in real life? Trying to get an ignorant motherfucker to understand why we are the way we are when it comes to certain elements of racism and why we are so passionate about how long it took us to gain freedoms. Again, we had Juneteenth, but it took 100 years just to be able to vote. We had to go through Jim Crow. My mom and her friends she grew up with, when they were in middle school, they participated in the sit-ins where black people were getting hosed down just for coming and sitting in a fucking restaurant. My mom grew up during the whites only, colored only era. She had to deal with that, going into restrooms that said for colored only. Going into stores and restaurants and buildings that said whites only. Peony Park being one of them. Back home. Again, that didn't become desegregated until the fucking mid-70s. I think it was either 73 or 75. Peony Park literally said whites only. And my mom said they built Peony Park when she was a little girl. So imagine her experience in America. Being conditioned that she's less than because she's black. And you have to go into the for colored only door. You got to sit in the back of the bus because you less than us. You can't come and sit in this restaurant because you a nigger. Not our new term of endearment. No, you a straight up nigger and you less than me. The fact that my grandfather, who I never got to meet, my mom's dad, she told me he would watch her walk to school because her school was 2 blocks from their house. And he would train my mom. Now, gal, if you see a white person, don't make eye contact with them. Just look down and say, yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. And don't get upset because I want you to come back home alive. Can you imagine what it was like for my mother as a little girl to have to be conditioned to that? Just say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir, and don't look them in the eye. That's why my mom has that mentality. She has that white devil mentality because that's what she grew up in. So it's like, when I think about stuff like that, like Representative Jasmine said, we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. That little clip from The View is a good example of how much we still have to go, because there are still so many people in the very country that our ancestors as slaves built that are committed to misunderstanding the descendants of the very slaves that built the country. If it wasn't for us, y'all wouldn't have the pavement to walk on. You wouldn't have some of these buildings and chairs to sit down. You know how much stuff black people have invented that we've never gotten credit for? We are some of the most powerful people on this earth, especially in this country, but we are the least protected, especially black women. So for me, when I am constantly celebrating melanin excellence, I need everyone to understand why I'm so passionate about it. Because I know what it's like to grow up in those environments where you never see black people in positive, powerful positions. You only see black people in fast food and telemarketing. And if you see one of us, we're probably the only one. Like a lot of the corporate places I worked in, especially when I was working through temp agencies, when I was younger and I was working 2 and 3 jobs, a lot of times I would be the only black person at that whole entire company. And I definitely had to put on my professional voice, because if I talk ghetto, oh, she's too ghetto, we got to get rid of her. Do you know I've had a manager tell me that because I was spreading awareness about black empowerment, that she did not want me to be talking about that at work. And I found out later that she actually was a member of like the KKK. That's why when I had to have my thyroid cancer surgery, she fired me. Found out after the word she was part of them. They don't want to see us rise up and powerful. They probably hate to see Representative Jasmine in the position she's in. But guess who loves to see it? Our ancestors, who celebrated their freedom on June 19th, 1865. Their freedom allowed Jasmine today. So I just, the whole let's focus on feeling sorry for Iran when Iran don't give no fucks about the United States and for damn sure not black people. Nah, I'm not. Not at all. I'm going to pay attention to see what's going on in terms of how it relates to prophecy, but I'm not finna sit up and cry about a country of people that throw gay people off of buildings. Number one. And number two, where they don't like black people. No, I'm not finna give no fucks. And you for damn sure ain't finna say that what we go through in this country isn't as bad and all this other shit. That's an ignorant motherfucker right there. Now, let's get on to Jill Scott. There's a song she did that I'm going to pull up on my YouTube channel that she wrote. She rewrote the national anthem. And I think this is her singing Golden, if I'm not mistaken.
Please welcome back one of R&B.
Yeah, that is her singing it. Okay, I wanted to see if it will let me pause so I can switch the banner. I'm gonna come back to y'all's comments in a second. All video content is for the purposes of fair use, for criticism, commentary, entertainment news reporting, scholarship, and investigative research. And I do believe this is her singing. Yeah, this is Golden.
Jill Scott.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back.
I just have to point out, for the sake of my ancestors, I love seeing that she has a live band and that members of her live band are white, standing behind her, supporting her. I think that's dope as fuck. Because they definitely wouldn't have had that opportunity back in their day. I know that's right. That's why I love Jill. That's why I love Jill. She is one of the most powerful. She has a presence that is just unmatched. Okay, let me pull up this one, and then after this, I'm gonna get into the roast. Hold on. Actually, I'm gonna play Black Balloon by Selena Johnson, then I'll get into the roast. Now, this is, let me go, because I need to get the date on this. Okay, so I posted this, oh yeah, Juneteenth. I did this on July 5th because I posted this in response to the people, mostly on Facebook, that were getting in their feelings because I said that July 4th has nothing to do with black people, because it doesn't. June 19th is our Freedom Day, not July 4th. That's why I posted this on July 5th. And I even put it in there. This is our reality. This is our truth. Our ancestors were still enslaved July 4th, 1776. The blood of our ancestors built this country, and the bloodshed hasn't stopped. We are too powerful to celebrate a holiday out of ignorance that has absolutely nothing to do with us. Because again, I've been telling y'all, I've been outspoken and speaking out against a lot of stuff on my Facebook pages for years. I've deactivated older pages just because I got tired of people getting in their feelings when I would post stuff that they would call conspiracy theory that now has all manifested in real time. But the main thing I've always spoken out against is racism, because I am a freedom fighter. I am a civil rights activist, as well as sexual abuse, being a survivor. And so I remember talking about this. I said, y'all are so mad because I don't want to participate in your July 4th stuff. Oh, you're not patriotic. No, it ain't about me not being patriotic. It's about me not celebrating a fake ass holiday that has absolutely nothing to do with me. If my ancestors were still enslaved, how is that a holiday I should be celebrating? So I'm going to celebrate the enslavement of my ancestors to compensate other people's feelings? No, I'm not. So instead of going back and forth with them on my YouTube channel or my Facebook, I just post this on my YouTube channel. Because it's like, if they would listen to this is, I call it our Melanin National Anthem, but she rewrote what they call the anthem for the United States. And her remix on this, the lyrics, the feeling, the energy, very powerful. Once I get over this like sinus allergy code where I'm not as congested, I actually am going to sing this because I love this song. Just like with Strange Fruit, it amazes me when I meet people who are a lot younger, especially these new millennials that were born in like their early 2000s that have never heard of the song Strange Fruit, which is an iconic staple, just like Lift Every Voice and Sing. The younger generation has no idea about these things because they don't teach them in school anymore. The ban on eliminating African American history is insane, and that's why the parents need to teach their children at home the same way both sides of my family did, and not rely on the school. I said, because how are y'all like in your 20s and you've never heard of Lift Every Voice and Sing? That's literally our national black anthem. No one ever told me about it. So have you heard the song Strange Fruit? Nope, never heard of it. So I'm gonna have to bring all that to my channel, specifically for those younger ones who are watching, so that you can know the heritage that those of us that are older than you, what we endured and went through. When I was singing locally in high school, I did Strange Fruit, and I did Lift Every Voice and Sing. Back home in Nebraska, in the small racist town we moved to, I went to the actual local community center and sang that as a teenager. Do you know how many of my friends' high school friends' parents had never even heard them songs? I've never heard of this. Well, now you know. Let me educate you. Shout out to Jill Scott.
Oh, say, can you see by the blood in the streets that this place doesn't smile on you, colored child, whose blood built this land with sweat and their hands.
But you'll die in this place.
But you'll die in this place, and your memory erased. Oh, say, does this truth hold any weight? This is not the land of the free,
But the home of the
but
slaves.
the home of the slaves.
I felt every ancestor when she did this. So yeah, that's my old outro. I actually edited this, and it's on my channel. Jill Scott has always been one of my favorite artists, and that's why. Because she does celebrate us. Trying to think, I think that was the only one. Yeah. So shout out to Jill. Shout out for the National Black Anthem. Let me close some of these tabs. Shout out to Syleena Johnson, another icon. Hold on. Another icon, another legend as well. And the thing that I love about Syleena Johnson is she always carries the ancestors with her. And she also is another artist that celebrates melanin excellence. And every time I hear her sing, I feel the ancestors like so strongly. She's the daughter of Sile Johnson. Trying to think. I was looking up about her dad because her dad's a legend too. But yeah, she comes from a legendary artist. I remember my dad listening to Sile Johnson when I was younger. And matter of fact, why am I not sharing screen? Hold on. I just realized I'm on the wrong tab. So yeah, Sile Johnson, her father, definitely American blues and soul singer, musician, songwriter, and record producer. His most successful record included Different Strokes and Is It Because I'm Black from 1969. So again, that was produced 4 years after we finally, as a people, got the right to vote. And it's amazing. It's an amazing thing to see this, you know, and I remember that, the Anyway the Wind Blows documentary. So yeah, she comes from legendary energy, Sylvester Thompson. So yeah, she did this song. It's called Black Balloon. I thought I was already subscribed to her. I really think YouTube be fucking with my channel, because I know I subscribed to Silena, like, back when I used to watch her on Cocktails with Queens with Claudia and Vivica Fox and Lisa Ray. That's weird that it didn't, whatever. But anyway, this song is called Black Balloon, and it's actually featuring her dad. I'm pronouncing it Sile Johnson, but I don't know if they might say Sil. Regardless, her father originally wrote this song, and then she did like a remake on it, and it's an amazingly encouraging song that uplifts our people. So I'm gonna play this real quick.
Come on and sing it for the people. And it's featuring my father, Blues Hall of Famer, Sil Johnson.
I knew I was saying it wrong. Sil.
Come on. Black balloon. Hey. Get it, y'all. Listen. The sky is so high, the sun is so bright. It's just like you. And when the world ain't fair, you persevere. You always do. Hey, come on, listen. It's like a balloon, you float to the top. You never let gravity get you down. You should know you can't be stopped. You can go anywhere. Black balloon. Hey.
I love this song. Black balloon.
Black balloon. Just keep rising to the top. Black balloon. Come on. You gotta keep on moving. No matter how hard the battles in front of you see. And when the tides of life clash with mine, you sail across the sky. You float to the top. Yeah. Let gravity get you down. Oh, you are the king, strength in your crown. Kings and queens.
Yes.
Black balloon. Hey, just keep rising to the top. Black balloon. Y'all come down here. Let's do a two-step. Come on, come on. Here we go.
I love Ray's energy. I love it.
Thank you.
I love that song so much. It reminds me of Black Butterfly by The Sounds of Blackness and Optimistic, all really uplifting, positive energies for our people. And again, shout out to Silena. She is, I swear every time I hear her sing, I just hear the ancestors. And Ray, the guy with the glasses, the lighter skinned one, he follows me on Instagram. And every time I do, like, I'll do a remix on, you know, one of her posts, I always tag them in it, and his energy is always positive. So shout out to Ray. I keep forgetting the other guy's name, to be honest, but this is what I love about us, is the way that we are able to continue to lift each other up, and the way that we are able to overcome anything. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, I think this is it. This is it. Okay, I found it. I had to find the email that has the photos of my ancestors, and then I'm going to get into the roast and then end the live because I am tired, but I have thoroughly enjoyed being able to share with you guys all of this. And like I said, I know that some of my subscribers are international, so I definitely wanted to be able to show you guys, you know, for those who may not know, why Juneteenth and this day is so important to us, because it really is our time of freedom. Okay, is it not sharing screen? And actually, wait, no, I need to leave that up there because we still got to do the other videos. Okay, how do we present? Oh, it's gonna make me stop sharing screen. I get it. I keep forgetting on this browser it's different. Okay, so this is my grandmother, my maternal grandmother that picked cotton for a living. This is my mother's mom. And Jesse Jackson was one, and this is an actual newspaper clipping my mom gave me that I took a photo of and then just, you know, turned it into like a thumbnail for the video that I uploaded about my grandma during, I think it was during Black History Month, because I shared about my Black history. So Jesse Jackson was one of my grandmother's favorite civil rights activists. And keep it in mind, my grandmother grew up picking cotton. So for her to go from picking cotton for a living to, you know, having freedom moving into the hood like most, you know, black people did, especially coming out of that. You know, the hood really was created for us to really keep us in a state of poverty mentally. But for my grandmother to have gone from picking cotton to Malcolm X's family living across the yard from her in the projects before they moved to the house in Pinckney, and then being able to meet Jesse Jackson before she passed away. Again, resiliency is something that runs deep in my blood on both sides of the family. And my grandmother, very strong woman. My mom told me my grandma lost 9 children total, including 2 sets of twins that were stillborn before she had her 4 children, my mom and her 3 siblings. So the strength of overcoming, you know, horrible things and overcoming tough times, and then, you know, finally get into a place where you get through it, and now, you know, you have a better experience, is definitely something that does run in my family. So yeah, this is when she lived in Lincoln, and she lived at this nursing facility called Malone Manor. It's basically, you know, like it says, a housing complex for the elderly. That's actually where my grandma passed away at, was at the Malone Center. But like it said here, oh, it won't. Okay, there we go. So it says presidential candidate Jesse Jackson visits with Florida Smith at the Malone Manor housing complex for the elderly. Jackson wound up his Nebraska primary campaign in Lincoln's Malone neighborhood. Tuesday morning, he urged residents to wake up the town and tell the people early vote really does count, and everybody really does count. His campaign now heads west to Montana and California. So again, my grandma not only got to meet him, she made the paper. Like, grandma literally made the paper, and my mom was so proud. And my mom, I remember when my grandma passed away, she would hold this paper clipping and just cry, because on one hand, she was happy that my grandmother, that was a dream of my grandma's, was to meet him. She would always talk about Jesse Jackson, and she always called Malcolm X Malcolm, because they lived right across the yard from her in the projects. So I want to just honor my grandmother right now. I love you dearly. Thank you for paving the way for me to be able to sit here free and do the things that you weren't able to do, coming from the generation you grew up in. I honor you. I honor every one of my ancestors, especially my direct ancestors that paved the way for me. Okay, let me see. I want to get to the other. Okay, where are the other pictures? Why? Oh, there they, wait, go back. There it is. Okay. Now, my mom said she still doesn't know the names of these ancestors, but these are our ancestors on my grandma's side of the family. And as you can see, they look very much so indigenous. Very much so darker skinned indigenous black people. And they owned that house. She was like, because this is another photo I took of an actual picture. She would tell me how my grandma would teach her that these were our ancestors. And my grandma had this huge Bible with all of the ancestors' names in it. And my mom was like, they're in that Bible, but she couldn't remember the names. But basically, they were a black couple coming out of slavery who they got their freedom papers and they built that house. They actually built the house that they lived in, and they lived off the land. And you can see they're all geared up in Western gear. I love the black and white ears on the dog. I don't know how that happened, if that was natural or not. But just, again, indigenous, it's really given more like darker skinned Native American, but definitely darker skinned and indigenous people. And what's ironic is the female looks like all of us. Like, I literally see my oldest sister face in her face. And I even see my nieces and nephews' face in her. I see my face. I see my mom's face. I see my grandmother's face. And the man looks identical to my youngest nephew. And actually, looking at him, he also looks like 2 of my brothers boys. So it's an amazing thing how, why is anybody knocking on my door? I'm not going to it. It's an amazing thing how you can see all of your ancestors coming through currently. Hold on. I don't know who that is, but they need to go the fuck away. I don't know who it is. And I'm not expecting nobody, especially this hour. But it's an amazing thing to see this. It's an amazing thing to see when you can look back at people you've never met and see yourself in them. It's very dope. So shout out to my ancestors, which, by the way, whoever the fuck that is at my door, get them the fuck away from here. I don't know who the hell that is. And I don't like distractions. So shout out once again to my direct ancestors. They are appreciated. Trying to close some of these tabs. I want to get into hold on. Okay, here we go. Now this, hold on, let me make sure I pause it before it starts to play. Okay, how come every time I click pause it doesn't? Well, I couldn't really see through the people. Should have took a picture of whoever the fuck that was. Okay, so this is dedicated to the geriatric real rejects of YouTube. Like I said, a lot of people, it amazes me how people will be fake and phony towards you, speak negatively on you, and then, you know, expect for you to tolerate it, expect for you not to address things or to not have a response. So the way I respond to bullshit is roasting, because I'd rather laugh at your ass and make fun of you than anything else and lower my frequency. So this is dedicated to the real geriatric rejects of YouTube. These, you know, I'll say men because they are male, but they don't act like men, they act like women. These very low vibrational, love to hate on and trash women energy. First of all of y'all are descendants of the ones who were never healed, and that comes from an unhealed place. So I address what I need to address, and then I laugh shit off and keep it pushing. This is F Granddad from the Boondocks. And let me make sure I put up the copyright banners up. Okay. So yeah, all of the video content is for the purposes of fair use for entertainment, education, and all of that. So this is called F Granddad. And I ain't gonna lie, after Riri had reached out to me and I guess, you know, told me about whatever it was that Stone apparently, according to her, she's like, well, you know, he did a live talking shit about me, talking shit about you, and all this other stuff. I expect people who I call out for bullshit to say negative things. I care, but not really. I only really care if it is considered slanderous or defamatory to where, you know, I can sue a person. But other than that, I'm gonna laugh it off. So this is dedicated to you, sir, and all the other real geriatrics that have been having my name in your mouth. Meanwhile, you're seeking relevancy on YouTube at damn near 60 years old. So shout out, dedicated to y'all. Let's get this roast going.
Mad cause your ass is so old, motherfucker. First thing you do is just pick up the phone. Jackson living next to your home, motherfucking grandpa. Old nigga, it's so old,
motherfucker. Lethal interjection versus what? Oh, nigga. He picked up the phone, now my fingers on the trigger. Snitching ain't the thing to do, so now me and my crew gonna show the block how to handle this fool. He just hating cause we went from rags to riches, the baddest bitches. Somebody need to ask these snitches, why they talking to police? No justice, no peace. My house is paid for, no rent, no lease.
Just mad cause your ass is old. Yeah. First thing you do is just pick up the phone. Snatch lethal interjection living next to your home. Motherfucking grandpa, old nigga, it's on. You just mad cause your ass is old. First thing you do is just pick up the phone. Lethal interjection living next to your home. Motherfucking grandpa, old nigga, it's on. This old man, he played fool, now his ass is grass for dropping dimes on my crew. The only reason that I pack a strap is that I knew this old nigga was foul like Hack-a-Shack.
This is the type of heat that when they start playing it, old folks should get their ass whooped for acting all nigga. You done crossed the line, so it don't cost a dime. Somebody toss my nine. I'm about to just
Crazy.
What in the hell was that? Was that about me?
Man, tell me you didn't think that was hot. Oh wait, let me guess. You gonna hate on it just because they was talking about you. You need to stop with the hate crimes, Greg.
Straight up. So, again, I would rather laugh at these dumbasses than to make people think that any part of them, you know, has any sort of power over me. No, not at all. Because if anything, this is what the energy is given. Like straight up. It is straight up given that. That is exactly how I see them niggas now. It's fucking geriatric ass men on films. That's what it's given. Anytime two men sit up on, cause shit, Courtney and Marlena from Too Strong was doing the same shit last year. Sitting up trashing all the women that they had on their panels and, you know, going back and forth and talking to women crazy, and it's been allegedly the same thing said about them, that allegedly, you know, they're supposed to be involved together or whatever. My thing is, I don't care, just live in your truths. Like, if that's what you like, that's what you like, but you ain't gotta bash women to be who you are. So yeah, part of the roast and the Throwback Thursday is one, to even keep speaking again on women is already suspect in and of itself. But the trashing and degrading, you know, females while trying to holler at them, you know, it's just weird. It's weird. It's like, are you trying to convince yourself or other people that, you know, when people are struggling with their sexual identity, some people have a hard time accepting who they are. They have a hard time accepting that they may be attracted to the same sex. So there's people, like, I know so many gay men and have been friends with that they spend all their time with women because they are afraid to come out or live in their truth. And, you know, they're afraid of being judged. So they always have women around and things like that. But deep down, you know, they are attracted to men and like engaging with men. And like I said, while it is Pride Month, come on out that closet if that's who you are. Because if it's not who you are, then there's a lot of unhealed mother wound issues that would cause a man to constantly lash out at women for either being rejected or for feeling like they can't dominate and or control a female, and to constantly disrespect women, especially black women, when you are a black man, especially black women who are survivors of sexual abuse, says more about you than anything. So this is what it reminds me of. Two men sit on the panel who you sitting on the panel claiming to be hetero, but you're behaving as if you're not. Just saying.
This presents Men on Films.
Hello, I'm Blaine Edwards, and I'm Antoine Merriweather, and welcome to Men on Films. We're going to be reviewing the latest film from a male point of view. First up is that controversial movie, Do the Right Thing. Now, I really like little Spike Lee's courage in making this film. I especially like the way he mixed the racial tension with the violence in order to give his message, do the right thing. Come on out the closet. Don't be afraid to be who you is. Black, white, or whatever. Ain't that?
And I love that. I love it. Come on out that closet. Don't be afraid to be who you is. Stupid motherfuckers.
The truth, Ruth. Now I'd like to talk about an exciting new film, Karate Kid Part 3. It's all about men working out their problems in a very physical way. It was all so primitive. And you know, I really enjoyed Mr. Miyagi, played by little Pat Morita. Ooh, and that Ralph Macchio. 3 words, fabulism. Boy, I hope I look that good when I'm 40. Stop. But I have to disagree. I disagree. There's just too much violence in this movie. Don't get mad. You better give me back my scarf. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. They went all wrong. What's all this kicking about? This is a movie about relationships. This could have been a beautiful picture about the special friendship between a mature, masculine, older man and a tender, ripening, consenting young man. See, I think America's ready for that. You know I am. I bet you is. Now I'd like to talk about a film I've been anxiously waiting to see, Great Balls of Fire. I ain't gonna touch it, but the title alone gets 2 snaps up.
The amount of times that they have broken character is why I used to fucking love this show and still do. This shit was so epic.
Now let's talk about some films that are soon to come out on video. First up is Black Widow, starring Teresa Russell and Deborah Winger. Hated it. Also coming out is Miss Firecracker. Is that Gene Anthony Ray's new movie? Holly Hunter. Hated it. And we finally have Dangerous Liaison,
starring John Malkovich and Glenn Close. You know, John Malkovich is like every moviegoer's fantasy. I found myself just alone at night just thinking about his intensity. What you think of Glenn Close?
Oh, I loved him. And I really have to admire the producers for daring to cast a man in that role. I mean, that really made the picture for me.
Hello? Glenn Close is a woman.
Clutch the pearls, what a sneaky.
Well, looks like we almost out of time. Would you join us next week when we talk about Mel Gibson's Lethal Weapon?
I hope it's loaded.
Fuck. Oh, I miss this shit. I really miss the Men on Films segment of In Living Color. Oh my God. There's so many funny ones. But there is one in particular I wanted y'all to see. Hold on. So I think it was the Men on Fitness. Hold on. Only because the way he has his hairstyle reminds me of Stone. Oh my God.
Highest source of protein around.
But it tastes just like the first.
These niggas. I swear to God. Yeah, David Allen Greer, he is a fool.
Public Access Channel 96 presents Men on Fitness.
And it's them laughing right before the skit starts. But when I look at this, I see Stone in me. I swear.
Hello, I'm Blaine Edwards. And I'm Antoine Merriweather. And welcome to Men on Fitness. Today's show is brought to you by
Mr. Gulp. The ultimate protein shake.
It's the second highest source of protein around.
But it tastes just like the first.
Now, we have looked at lots of different workout tips, but none of them really work for us. Like that one that Cindy Crawford workout. Hated it.
They should have called it Cindy Crawfish.
Then there was Jane Fonda's ultimate workout. Hated it.
The way both of them just wrote character has me dying.
They could have just called that a fish called Fonda.
Then, of course, there was Little Dick Gregory's diet. You know, I always do what Dick say.
He can't even. The fact that David Allen Greer can't keep a straight face is sending me. I swear to God, it is sending me.
Now, before you begin your workout,
holy shit, this is the downside to having a studio audience, because he's breaking character, laughing his ass off because of the fucking audience. Meanwhile, Damon with his stupid ass is maintaining his character, and this shit is just ridiculous. Them yellow fucking he looked like Hot Dog Superman. What the fuck?
That's right. Most people don't know how important the neck is in fitness. So we're going to begin by doing some neck stretches. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And 3, and 4, and
Blaine, why you keep looking to the side?
because you got to make sure ain't nobody coming up behind me.
To the bench press. Now, weightlifting you a spot. Got some? Oh, I got just 5 words to describe that. Delicious.
I need to get me one of these spots for my bedroom.
Now, the bench press really is for to build up your upper body muscles, making them ripple with all your strength. Okay, sir, try and spot him. You know, the view up from here is heavenly. Come on, Blaine, use all your strength. Go ahead.
Come on.
I'm screaming, get it off me. Could you put this in my car, please? Gee, I am parched. You know, it's always good to replenish all your fluids.
I just fucking realized there wasn't not one weight on that damn bar. Oh my God.
Any way you can. A water boy. Please, sir, I'd like some more. And no workout would be complete without working. The gluteus maximus. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on, boys. Okay. So what you want to do first is warm up the buttocks muscles. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and release. Woo! Come on, everyone, down on your knees. We've been there, done that. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Double time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, everybody down on the other side. I love this. I'm in control. Here we go. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Double time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold and release. Okay, and you always want to end with a great big old stretch. Why we always end like this? I don't know, but it's great for ventilation. Just breathe. Don't forget to breathe.
Wait, I just realized all the extras in the back are dying laughing. Because it's stupid.
And that's it. Yay! Thank you, boys. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Join us next week when we'll be showing you more exercises for, what else? The gluteus maximus. Here. I think this workout deserves 2 snaps and a butter crown. Until next time.
David Allen Greer constantly laughing, breaking character has me dying right now.
Bye-bye. Racing to the showers.
Oh my God, yo. I swear. Oh my God. This shit be having me dying. Oh my God. You know, and this is also I know there's people that feel the way in terms of you know, black men being feminine or effeminate. My thing is this: I don't care as long as you're not bashing black women. That's when I have an issue. Do you without bashing us. But this shit here was hilarious because this is during the 90s when it wasn't okay to live out loud. Now, I don't know if it's true, but I have heard that allegedly both of them are either down low or may have been a couple at some point. I don't know if that's true. That's why I'm also saying allegedly. But either way, it's been a long time coming for people to be able to live in their truth. So I feel like be who you are, but be who you are without bashing women, especially when you are a black male. You should not be bashing black gay women. Now, roasting, yeah, but just straight up bashing, trashing, trying to degrade in order to make yourself feel more powerful, that just really shows how pathetic, people really are in real life, to think that that's what they need to do. And if that's what you need to do, you need to go do a whole hell of a lot of healing. Like, straight up. So shout out to In Living Color. Shout out to Men on Films. Hold on, I wanted to show. Okay, I wonder if it's gonna show up. There it is.
Let's switch channels. This show is dull. You bet. What is that? It looks like two ancient old guys sitting in a theater box watching television. That's crazy. No one would watch junk like that.
The Throwback Muppet Show has me dying laughing because, again, when I think about these two old geriatric men on YouTube constantly talking about women and tearing them down, I see them as just like these two old ass motherfuckers right here. Oh my God. But shout out to Men on Films.
That alone gets 2 snaps up. We're gonna have to get this one 2 snaps up in a circle.
This book gets the yet unheard of Zorro snap in Z formation.
To sum up our little European vacation, we're gonna have to give the whole trip a new and improved around the world and back snap.
We'd like to salute all the men playing the Super Bowl with our special Super Bowl snap. 2 snaps and your backfield low. It's time to give this meal a very special Chef Boyardee snap. 2 snaps
And wipe your mouth.
I think this workout deserves 2 snaps and a bottom round
The 2 snaps and wipe your mouth is sending me. Oh my God. So yeah, I just wanted to do a little bit of a lightweight roast. Like I said, I'd rather roast people and laugh at them than make them think that they have any sort of energy here. And when it really does come down to it, people that just be like constantly talking shit but can't stop watching your ass, trust me when I say it's because they admire you. Period. So oh my God. Shout out to that.
Happy birthday, Snooki Yoko! I have a surprise for you! Hold me the crown! Hold me the crown! Hold me the crown! Hold me the crown! Hold me the crown!
Alright, kids. I'm Homie the Clown. Y'all ready to have some fun?
Yeah!
Alright, what y'all want me to do first?
Oh!
Degrade myself, huh? I don't think so. Homie, don't play that. skull open and have my blood and brains ooze out on the carpet so you can get a couple of cheap laughs, huh? I don't think so. Homie, don't play that. What else? Hey! Can we smash the cream pie in your face like they be doing the crowns and stuff? Yeah! I think you got it backwards, son. Now, how do you feel about yourself?
Oh my God.
Totally dissed, homie. That's why homie don't play that. All right, how about a magic trick? Yeah! Who got it down? I do, homie. Here you go, homie. All right, I fold it once, twice. Now it's gone. Ta-da! Let's get something straight, kids. Homie may be a clown, but he don't make a fool out of himself.
Why you become a clown, dear?
I guess it's because I got so much love to give. And it's part of my prison work release program. So I got about 5 more years of this clown crap. Cartoon time! Yeah! Y'all pay special attention because this one has a certain message to it. Once upon a time, Homie the Clown went to a fancy white restaurant. Shay Whitey was the name.
Not Shay White. The fuck?
As always, Homie gets hassled by the man. He tells him that a tie is required in order to eat in this establishment. So Homie says, man, get them damn ties out of my face or I'll kick your ass. But unfortunately, Monsieur Snowflake didn't quite hear Homie correctly. So Homie had no choice but to keep his word. The end. So what have we learned if nothing else, children? Homie don't play it! Right, now let's sing the Homie the Clown song. Yeah! Repeat after me. Homie the Clown. Homie the Clown. Don't mess around. Don't mess around. Even though the man. Try to keep him down. One day, Homie will break all the chains, then he'll fly away. But until that day, Homie don't play. I said, repeat after me. Very good. Well, hey, Homie, smile after all. Happy birthday, kid.
Oh man, that's just a show we will never, there'll never be another show like In Living Color. But part of my future plans is to do to redo these types of shows, but from an animated standpoint. So that does conclude the live. I hope everybody enjoyed themselves. Thank you everybody that tuned in on all platforms from Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you to everybody who was in the comments. Looks like I missed quite a few of them. But thank you to everybody who participated in the chat. For those who have not, let me drop my link in the chat for Rumble, because I do need everybody to get over to Rumble, and make sure you hit the follow and subscribe button. Because for the deep diving lives, especially the lives where we're going to be doing like the watch parties, that's going to be off of YouTube. So like I'll start on YouTube but then end on Rumble. So there is the link. Make sure that you do click the link, and again, hit follow and subscribe. Make sure y'all like this video coming in, and if you forgot on your way in, like the video on your way out. For those that would like to support the channel as well as my medical journey, you can send any donations to my Cash App or Venmo, which is pinned in the YouTube chat and also scrolling across the bottom of the screen. All donations are appreciated and needed. And the roast was just meant to be like a quick roast to laugh off at, laugh off the dumbasses, just to laugh at the dumb shit people keep saying and doing. But I'm really glad I got a chance to educate, money for people, or not money, see, that's what I get for looking up at the TV screen, because I was reading what was on the screen while I'm talking. But I want to thank everybody who has been consistently participating in the lives. And again, don't forget to hit the link for follow me on Rumble. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. For those who have not, if you are on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Just D Show. On Facebook, it is at Just D Shows, because I'm not on my old page. So, and the Facebook is not a it's not a public figure page because it's newer. So if I get like a random friend request from somebody I don't know, I more than likely won't approve it. But you can still follow me on there to see my public post. But mostly I typically interact the most on Instagram and YouTube. Really, like Facebook and TikTok is more just kind of posting, a lot less interaction. I do plan to start interacting more on TikTok so I can get my subscriber follower count on there high enough to actually be able to do lives from TikTok. So again, shout out to everyone who's been supporting the channel. Shout out to my DzPeepz. Shout out to all of my ancestors that paved the way for me to have the freedom that I have today, to sit here on this platform and be able to laugh, joke, kiki, educate, and celebrate our heritage and our ancestral lineage. If it wasn't for the ancestors that fought for freedom, persevered through slavery, persevered through civil rights, persevered through sit-ins, persevered through lynchings, persevered through being hoes, persevered through segregation, persevered through all the things that were meant to keep the minds of our people under subjugation. Shout out to the ancestors that paved the way, and shout out to all of us that are breaking the generational curses and not allowing their legacy to be, not allowing their legacy to just fall by the wayside and not be remembered. So family, again, thank you so much. I will be coming back soon at some point this weekend to speak more on the biblical aspect of what's going on right now as far as between Iran and Israel, because it has everything to do with Gog and Magog. And again, that was the vision I was shown in heaven when I died and went to heaven and came back, was to bring awareness and show people the truth so that they're not believing lies. And the other Pizzagate documentary, I will let you guys know when we're going to do that watch party, and that will be on Rumble. So again, don't forget to hit the link. It's in the chat on YouTube. For the subscribers on my YouTube channel that have not followed me on Rumble, make sure you get over there and click follow and subscribe. Again, so that when we do all of the rest of the lives, you'll be able to participate in the chat on Rumble. Because I really am moving, like my deep diving lives, I'll always start them on YouTube and then end the stream and continue on Rumble, because it's an uncensored platform where freedom of speech actually exists without stupid shit like YouTube trying to censor everything and all that. None of that happens over there. So family, I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who participated in the chats, thank you for all your positive energy. Thank you for your congratulations. For those that are just now popping in to watch the live, make sure you catch the replay. And y'all have a beautiful day.
Leveled up, I think